Skibo, skipper, eh? PH, and make a I beg you, 2 bottles of stout. I cannot kill myself. Whoa, I must die, flenjo, top money, splendor.
Hello, my beautiful people. Y'all probably surprised I came back so soon with another video. Uh-oh. Back again. Back-to-back videos. Back again. What's happening? I was a rapper in my other life. Actually, in this lifetime, I'm a rapper. Ask anyone who knows me. Like, y'all saw my, like, my graduation music video. Y'all know I'm a rapper. And, like, also, y'all don't know this, but, while I was in college, like, to study for organic chemistry, like, to be able to get reactions down and, like, remember certain things, I actually would, like, make rap songs from, like, Nicki Minaj songs, honestly. Well, okay, one Cardi B song, and then it was, like, 2 Nicki Minaj songs that I, like, used to, like, that's how I helped myself learn, you know, I made my little rap. I'm trying to remember. Said, late, you can't attack me if you wanted to. Okay, this is one of them.
Break It Up remix. Now this is the anthem for Camp 33.
I'm at 35.
Let's go.
I make alcohols oxidate,
Okay.
get reduced with LAH. Pronate, hydrate, pronate, hydrate. I make alcohols oxidate, then get reduced with LAH. Pronate, hydrate, pronate, hydrate.
Man, I love
Me acetos. First I added acid.
20 moles of OH. She said I'm that chemist.
I said,
Dr. Brennan, girl,
I already know. I wear my PPE.
Cause safety comes first. I mean, synthesis in my notes. That's an SN2 reaction. I was studying PKAs back when I was in 33. We making
Toes.
with some catalytic acid. Got my study buddies with me. Picked up the textbook and we studied.
You ever smelled in the meat L? Ozonolysis. Cleave the alkene, double bond. Nucleophile. Attack the carbon now. Pow.
We gon' write mechanisms. Study for the test. We gon'
Beat the average with 100%.
Man, I love glucose. Anatomer on beta. Can professors like me once they see me make the amine? I think I need a Vedic. I might just make an alkene. Never trust a metal alkene with an
Acidic proton.
Rep pre-meds and minorities.
That was a fire song. Y'all saw that? Y'all heard that? That was a fire song. That was a fire. I wrote it all by myself. And it really helped me study for chemistry because, you know, organic chemistry is all about the reactions. But how's everyone doing? What's up? As y'all can tell, I have a lot more free time on my hands now. Now that I'm like, well, okay, that's not true. I take that back. Well, now that I'm done with physics, I don't have as much, like, you know, like schoolwork to do. But it just so happened work is like really busy, so I've been working like a lot of overtime. Like I worked 110 hours like this past 2 weeks, and I was like, that is such ungodly hours in my opinion. But you know what? I can't complain because it's only gonna get worse from here, you know? I'm about to be a doctor, so I better get used to working late. But I've been really thinking lately, like, after I finished physics, I was like, okay, what am I doing next? Because am I taking more classes? Am I gonna, you know, look into master's programs to apply to in case medical school doesn't work out? Like, you know, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna, like, actually do, like a post-bac, right? And I'm just kind of like, that defeats the whole purpose of everything. Like, all the hard work I tried to do my senior year was to avoid having to take a post-bac. Because, you know, your girl don't got post-bac money. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? And I really haven't decided yet. And the hard thing is, like, I would want to take more classes this upcoming academic year. But I get charged out-of-state tuition. And I'm just like, that's a lot of money for, like, one class. Like, it was like $1,200 to take physics like every single quarter. So that in total was like, what, like $3,600 for the whole year, and I was like, that's a lot of money just to take one class. And I paid for like one quarter, and like luckily I was so blessed and like, you know, fortunate enough that my high school actually paid for my first my fall quarter and half of my winter quarter, which I don't know how I would have been able to pay or afford taking physics this year if not for my high school. So shout out to Boston Prep, because you know they always coming through for their alum. But I was thinking like, yeah, I would want to take more classes, but that's just a lot of money. And like, I don't know if like, my thing is I don't want to take out loans right now. I don't want to like, I want to try to like, I don't know, right? Like if I don't have the real money, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I've been really thinking about what my next steps are for next year in terms of how can I build my case for medical school. And like, I think I've had a really hard time, like, I've had a really hard time patting myself on the back, right? And like, I'm constantly questioning, do other people think I'm ready for medical school, right? And like, it's kind of hard, right, when something like that is not in your control. Like, you don't get to control whether someone finds you a good fit for their school or not. And it's kind of, it's hard. It's one of those hard things where it's like, you have to let go and trust God and trust that you've done all the work. And like, I know how hard I've worked, you know, and like, I have a hard time having confidence in that. And it's so funny because I'm always telling you guys the first step to succeeding is to have confidence in yourself. And like, I really had a hard time, you know, like being solid and like, you know what, I've done a lot. Like, I cannot undermine all the work I've done and how far I've come, right? And like, you know, I was looking at my my science GPA for like all 4 years of college, and I was like, wow, like, I wish like, I don't know, I wish like I had this like a good student mentality my freshman year. And I'm just like, it makes me really sad because I'm like, all you see is 2.4, 2.6, 2.7, and then you see 1 year of like a 3.78, and like, I like kept focusing on the 2 point whatevers as opposed to really focusing and saying, wow, Sean, like in my last year of undergrad, I really turned it around. Like, this is pretty unbelievable. And like, I've had a really hard time applauding myself for that, right? Like, I share my advice on how I got there and like, and evaluate myself and my next steps. I was just kind of like, I wish I did things differently, right? And one thing I'm learning to do and I'm currently actively doing right now is appreciating my journey and appreciating the fact that everything happens for a reason, and I'm going through this journey for a reason, right? And like, I didn't do well in school initially for a reason, and I started doing well in school later for a reason too, right? And it's hard, right? Because I want to use this as a teaching moment, because I think it's a lot easy to hear people and their success and say like, wow, they got into so-and-so, they got into Stanford, they got this, wow, like they made it, right? And like, you don't necessarily see that journey, right? You don't see the tears, you don't see like all the hard things that they did to get to that success, right? And I try to give you guys insight into that, like, and part of it is learning how to appreciate my own journey too, right? So like, this is not just for you, this is also for me, right? And telling myself that everything I've done is for a reason, and like, it's gonna pay off, and it made me a better person. And like, as I was thinking this week, I was like, you know what, Sean, I have to give myself a pat on the back, because I figured it out, right? There's some people who it's not until after they graduate college that they figure it out, right? And they're like, shit, what am I gonna do? Now I have to like do a post-bac or whatever. And I was really thinking about, okay, what classes am I going to? There's always a plane flying in the background every time I make a video, and I don't understand why. Anyways, shit, I forgot what I was saying. Boo. And like, I was looking through all the prerequisite classes I took for medical school and looking at the grades I got and trying to determine, should I retake certain classes, like what should I do, like what looks weak. And like, in all of them I looked at it and I said I only have 3 C's and the rest are A's and B's, and like, it's a decent amount of classes. And I was like, yes, C's are not favorable, but I'm also like, I only got 3 C's. And those C's in my pre-med classes were way earlier on in my career. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, I got a C in biology, but that's not as early in my career, but it's still not as recent either. So, and I was like, wow, really? The only place I did not really do that well in was general chemistry, to be honest. And, you know, getting started with bio was a rocky thing, but I put it together. And I sat down and I just took that moment and I said, wow, Sean, you need to be proud of yourself and you need to appreciate yourself because you did that. Brow gel was the best investment I made. I used to do my eyebrows, but like my eyebrow hairs would move, so after a while like my eyebrow hairs would be this way and my eyebrow pencil would be this way. So ever since I got the gel, it's fixed that situation for me. I'm going to this bar thing with my friend for my friend's birthday that I think I mentioned earlier, and we'll see how it is. It was advertised as like networking thing with other people working in the area, and I'm like, oh, I'm a working person working in the area. That's me. I'm an adult. And like, it's so interesting, the concept of like socializing in the adult world as opposed to college, right? Because in college, it's a lot easier to make friends and a lot easier to mingle with people because you're in student groups, you're in class like 24/7, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a part-time job, you probably have people you work with. So it's like a lot easier to do that in college. But when you're, you know, in the adult world, the people I interact with the most are people at work. I feel weird or like uncomfortable making friends with work colleagues. You know, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like mixing business with pleasure. And like, is there a balance you can have, right? How much of myself do I put out there in like the work environment? How much do I keep to myself? And that's something I've, you know, thought a lot about. Especially like, because, you know, some of my colleagues are, of course, I'm the youngest, I'm the baby. I like recently just graduated, I'm 23, and like everyone is like in their early 30s. Some are getting married, some have kids, you know, all this kind of stuff. And like, it's an interesting dynamic, right? Because they all see me, like, literally, I was having a conversation with work colleagues this past week, and I think we were just talking about boys, right? Because it was a group of 4 of us women, and one is married with 2 kids, the other one is getting married next year, the other one, I don't know, she didn't really talk, and, you know, I'm just here, like, you know, just navigating life, and you know, in talking with them, they were just like, well, Sean, you know, you're a baby. You have your whole life ahead of you, da-da-da. And, like, it was kind of crazy to hear because I'm like, I feel like I feel old. I feel like you know, like, I should have so much stuff, like, happening right now. Like, I remember, I always used to say when I was in college that, like, by 22, I want to be in a relationship. By like 24, I want to be engaged. 25, 26, and married. You know, 26, 27, having my first child, right? And like, I don't know, like, not that I'm in a rush, but like, I don't know, I just kind of like, I've always grown up with this mentality of like, you get your education, then you start a family, like, you know, these kind of things that you want. And I've always kind of been in an environment where it's like, we, like, at least in my culture, in Nigerian culture, like, there's a high emphasis on marriage and, you know, having that connection, starting a family and settling down. And for me, I'm like, I want that because that's something my culture has always portrayed to be, like, something you achieve and something you are reaching for and something you ultimately attain, right? And, like, I feel the need to have it by a certain age, and I don't know why. Well, I kind of do know why. Like, I remember this past December, my parents were driving me back to the, you know, the airport so I could come back home to work, and I was on the phone with my dad's older sister. She's the oldest of all of them, and her daughter, my cousin, is like, I want to say about probably 10 years older than me. So like, she got married like, I think like 5-6 years ago, and she has some kids now, and I would be after her, I'm the next like grandchild that would get married. So I was on the phone with her, you know, just to greet, you know, Nigerian parents, I was like, oh, you need to greet so and so, and literally on the phone she told me, when are you bringing your husband? We want to have a wedding. And I was like, and I don't know when we're gonna have a wedding, ma'am. And it kind of like, you know, highlighted how there's this expectation or this like their anticipation of like, all right, you're next. When are you gonna bring your man? When are you gonna bring your husband? We're waiting. We are waiting. And like, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting because I think that adds additional pressure to, like, you know, have my life together, like, kind of have that, you know, have everything situated. And, like, for me, I, like, actually thought about it. I was like, Sean, you are trying to be a whole doctor right now. Like, if I were to pick between starting a family, settling down in my career, I would put my career first, right, as of right now, because I'm 23, I still have my whole life ahead of me, and I'm hungry for that. Like, there's nothing I want more right now than to be a doctor. And, you know, I feel like starting a family is something I can do while in pursuit. It doesn't have to be now. And, like, it's so interesting because I actually told my parents about a friend, you know, and they assumed the friend was a girl for a while. But, like, you know, Nigerian parents, they just, when you say, oh, I have a friend, they just assume it's, well, my parents always assume it's a girl. So I was like, this friend is a man friend, and all my parents were like, and, like, it was so interesting because my mom was asking me, well, how'd you meet him, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and I was like, girl, let's take it one step at a time right now. Because, like, for me, I am very uncomfortable talking to my parents about this kind of stuff. And the questions were just coming, like, left and right. And I was like, you know, trying to dodge them. And then my mom said something. She was like, well, what are you going to tell people, like, for your wedding website? Or, like, you know, what's the story? Like, if you're not willing to tell me now, like, what's the story you're going to tell? And I was like, sis, we're talking about weddings, wow, you know? And that just kind of shows how, like, there's this emphasis, at least in my culture, of, like, marriage is a huge deal, and, like, starting a family and settling down is a pretty big deal, and it's definitely something I want. And it's just so interesting to see how I see other people. Like, I'm actually going to a wedding later this month, and the person getting married is a friend. She's, like, maybe 2-3 years older than me, and, like, it just, I feel like it adds more pressure, right, in a sense, and, like, I feel like it makes me feel like I should be doing, like, you know, be, like, aim. It's not like I'm not aiming for that, but it's also, like, I'm not actively, like, today I need to get married. But it's so interesting how, like, your culture and the people around you can also make you feel like you should be on a certain journey. And maybe that's not the journey you're meant to be on right now. And this is why I go back to the whole thing of, like, appreciating your journey and, like, not comparing yourself to others and not, like, you know, saying, oh, well, I have to do this because so-and-so is already getting married or so-and-so is already in medical school. Like, there's this one person who's in my class that graduated with me, and she went to medical school straight through. And for a cool minute, I was like, wow, I really wish that was me. Like, I really wish I could just go to medical school now. But I look back and I'm like, wow, I'm so happy. The way life worked out is I didn't go because I just had so much learning to do, so much growing to do. And wow, like, I really did that. And I think that's what's beautiful about everyone as individuals. We all have our different journeys, and our different journeys will get us to the right destination eventually, right? Assuming you do your part. So just really important to always look at yourself in the context of yourself, right? Never compare yourself to other people. Don't look at what other people are doing and be like, oh, why am I not here? Or why am I not doing this? Or what's going on with me? Like, you know, why can't I get my life together? Da-da-da-da, so and so. So it's really important to, let me take this out, to stay in your lane and only, you know, focus on yourself. It is so important to not compare yourself and use people as inspiration, but don't use them as, like, a goal or, like, oh my goodness, this is where I'm trying to be, right? It's good to be like, wow, like, this person is, you know, really doing it for themselves, and I hope to one day, you know, kind of have the journey that's meant for me to have. I promise you, you are on the right journey for you, and no one can take that away from you, because there are lessons that you have to learn in certain ways. And, like, I always joke around with my mom. I'm like, I feel like my mom always has to learn things the hard way. And, like, it's so unfortunate because it's like she'll make a decision and it's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And, like, that's her journey to have, right? And some people are able to learn from others, right? And, like, that's one thing I love about my YouTube channel and I love about the videos I make is I make the mistakes and you guys don't repeat them, you know? And I think that's a really beautiful thing. And I think it's great to be able to hear other people's stories and take different pieces and different things from it to help yourself, right? Like, everyone who watches this video, everyone's gonna have a different takeaway, right? The takeaway I hope for you guys to have is to appreciate your journey and to be proud of the shoes you're walking in, to be proud of the journey you're walking. But someone else might take out something different from this. Like, I don't know, they might take out like, wow, Sean's a really dope rapper. Like, who knows what you guys are gonna take away from this video? But I really hope that you guys are able to take time to just reflect with yourself. And I think having alone time, having reflection time is a huge thing. And that's been one of the biggest like parts of my growth, is like I actually take time to just sit and think. And that's one of the reasons why I love to be alone, because I love to just sit and think like, okay, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm trying to be. Like, I remember I was talking with my housemate's boo thing, boyfriend. We don't know what he's called right now, but I was talking with him, and I asked him, I was like, so what's your 5-year plan? And like, part of it was because, I had ulterior motives for my homegirl. I was trying to, see what he had in store for her, right? I wanted to kind of see his plans, but, it was also like a bigger picture thing of like, where do you see yourself going? And like, he looked at me, he's like, 5-year plan? I want to be successful, that's what I know. And I was like, sir, you need to have a 5-year plan. Like, one of the biggest things I struggle with, and I think this is part of the reason why I struggled my first couple of years in college, is I had a big picture goal of like, okay, I know this is what I want to do, but I didn't have a plan. Right? And you can't achieve a goal without a plan. And that is a huge part of success. You need to have a plan. Some things you just kind of, you go with the flow, but you need to have a plan. And like, for me, like, I'm asking other people if they've done their 5-year plan, and I have not done my 5-year plan yet, but I will, right? And like, for me, hold on, let me see if I can, okay, this lash is here. And for me, it's, once I had a plan, once I was like, okay, I need to do this, and this, and I need to get this and this done, I found that it was a lot easier to get to my journey of like whatever I wanted to do, right? Like, when I actually sat down and planned out my course schedule, I was like, wow, okay, I have a vision of where I'm going. Okay, I'm taking these classes because I want to do the X, Y, and Z. I want to accomplish X, Y, and Z. And like, it's so important to sit down with yourself. If you're in college right now, and like, I think like some schools, encourage you to do this, where it's like they encourage you to have a 4-year plan for like how you're going to complete your major and stuff. But it's also good to have like an academic one, but also a personal one of like, okay, what do I see myself doing after graduation? Do I want to go back to grad school? Do I want to work a little bit? Do I, want to travel? And, like, figuring out having plan. Don't just have a big picture, have a plan. And having a plan will keep you on track for your big picture goal. Y'all like this hairstyle? Well, I like it, so it doesn't matter if you guys don't like it. But, I had seen a comment, I think this was like the second comment I saw, someone was like, we want like natural hair tutorials, and even one of my Sans, she had DM'd me, she was like, girl, I need a tutorial for this bun. So I'm thinking that's probably what I'm going to do soon, because especially this year, I am not as like fond of wigs as I used to be. Like, in college, I was always switching up my wigs, but now I just find it like it's a lot, it requires maintenance. And I just don't have the time or the mental capacity to maintain a wig. Like, I wore a wig for my trip to Vegas, and I was just like, could not wait to take it off, because I just feel like it's a breath of fresh air when I have my natural hair out. So I'm probably going to do a natural hair tutorial maybe next weekend, to be honest. Now that I have a bit more free time, I can like bring more consistent content, and I'm going to have y'all hold me to it this time. So we'll see. We will see. Shawn said, no late, you can't attack me if you wanted to. Said, no late, you can't attack me if you want to. I'm protonated, electrophilic, let me attach to you. Making aldol, I can condensate, just add a little heat. Alpha, beta, unsaturated, ketone is who I'm trying to be. Look, no hydroxide, just use LDA. Said no NaOH, just use LDA. If you making an eno late, then you need a bulky base.
It's kinetics, it's all downhill, it's
Irreplaceable.
irreplaceable. Now she said
She gon' do
an ester.
Let's find out and see it.
Catalytic, we can use some acid, we can use some base, hydrolyzed with the same reagents, back to an acid, equilibrium back and forth.
So much I know they tired of me, honestly.
Transesterification with some ethoxide, drop 2 chlorures mid-OH. What chemist working as
Hard as me, I don't bother.
LAH, don't let LAH
Bother me.
They see A's, they say girls, I'm the chemist.
They trying to be, look.
I might just show with Bertozzi, I might just show with TAs, I might just fill on your leg.
My chemistry grade is okay. They wanna get with this A. I'm like, okay, I let them get what they want.
They wanna join our little squad.
In the group chat, Brenda responds to us. She said that she's down with our squad. I'm the smartest in the street. Know you probably heard of me. Got a skill coach, fix my grade. Hope you girls know it ain't easy.
And I'm going to medical school.
I ain't got no time to chill.
Think these people mad at me. Their grades really
Ain't hard as me. I still owe some of y'all like some stuff for my giveaway. My birthday giveaway for my 1K subscribers. So if I remember correctly, I definitely said that Cookie and Biko were for sure getting something because they have like been holding me down, always commenting on my videos. So you guys should like DM me on Instagram or something, so I can get your contact information to send you a little treat. And then I don't even remember what the rules were for my giveaway. Go watch the video and figure it out, and then whatever those rules were, I'll pick a winner. So I was about to leave work, and I was sending one last email, and I was like in the hallway or whatever, and this girl comes up to me. She's like, "What's your name?" And I was like, I wasn't sure if I should say what my real name was, because you know sometimes, you know, because I was like shown. She was like, "Oh my goodness, I watch your videos," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you watch my videos." It's really nice, and I gave her my number that she can contact me whenever, if she needed anything or had any questions. And like, if you've met me in person, you know, for the most part, I'm really friendly. Like, I'm like totally like, I'm all about, oh my goodness, let me give you my contact information. Like, if you need anything or have any questions, if I can help you with it, I will for sure do so. And there was this one time though, I was, this had to be after graduation. I went to the cast cooking event, and I guess there was a conference on campus for something, and I was serving food, and a group of people from Northeastern University, actually, which I was like, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, y'all from MA, noticed me, and I was like, and like, I didn't expect to be recognized in that, like, oh, in that one moment. So I was like kind of shy. I was like, hi. But it's fun, like, to meet you guys in real life. And like, I've definitely had someone like stop me in Walmart because they watched my videos before too. So it's kind of interesting to like meet you guys like in person, as opposed to like, you know, just commenting or something. So I hope I get the opportunity to meet more of you guys. If you run into me, I just be where I be, TBH. That's it. But this video is pretty long already, so I'm gonna call it a wrap here. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I will be posting more videos now that I have a bit more free time because I'm not in school this summer. So I'm excited. I'm excited to continue sharing my journey with you guys. I am excited to update you as good things happen to me, as not so good things happen to me. And I am going to make a hair tutorial because I'm popping. Alright, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.